Screen test number 3. 1, 2, 3. Screen test number 3. 1, 2, 3. Hey everybody, I'm Jesse. Welcome to the Blue Ridge and Southern Railway. Now, I had another YouTube channel, Jesse's Trains and Things, where I did a whole lot of rail fanning videos and I did some model train videos, and it was, kind of just anything about trains that I liked and filmed. I put it up on the YouTube channel. However, that's changed a bit. I now have 2 YouTube channels. The Jesse's Trains and Things now has a new name, Whistleboard Productions. There you can find a lot of rail fanning videos, real train videos. There's steam locomotives, there's modern diesels, freight from predominantly from northeast Tennessee, the Chattanooga area, northwest Georgia. That's where I primarily rail fanned, and you'll see those videos reflected in that channel. However, I've created this new channel for my O-scale model train layout, which I have named the Blue Ridge and Southern. Now, a little bit of history about me and my model trains. I have loved trains ever since I was a little kid. Got a Lionel train set when I was I think 12 years old, and here I am now having a layout, as is a very common story for a lot of other people. But as time grew and grew, I got, more and more locomotives, rolling stock, bigger locomotives, bigger rolling stock, got more track. I built my first layout when I was about 15, 16 years old on a 4x8 sheet of plywood, a couple loops of track using Fast Track, which is great for beginners. I certainly had a lot of fun with it, and it definitely stood the test of time. From all the floor layouts and different configurations with the first layout. As time went on, though, I started to get more and more serious with the model, with my model train layout, and I discovered more and more detailed models. So I kind of shifted from the more toy-like trains to the more realistic scale models, and for about the last, I would say, 4 or 5 years, I've started seriously collecting predominantly high-end detailed pieces. Now at this point in time, all of my motive power is Lionel. I only have one command system, TMCC, so I'm limited to only running Lionel models. However, the eventual plan is to get full Legacy and DCS, so that way I can expand the horizons and maybe get some MTH models, some Atlas models, because I'm definitely liking some stuff that I'm seeing from other people. However, as of right now, being a college student, money is not something that I have lots of sitting around, so I kind of have to be reserved with what I collect and what have you and what I purchase, so TMCC works just fine. Now the inspiration for this layout, the reason it's called the Blue Ridge and Southern, is because my 2 favorite railroads are the Southern Railway and the Norfolk and Western Railway. Those 2 railroads interchanged in Bristol, Tennessee and or Virginia, as that town is on the border between the 2 states, and Bristol is only about an hour and a half north of where I live, and it's a very beautiful line, I must say. I might be a bit biased, but who isn't about their own personal section of railroad? I live on Norfolk Southern's Bristol line, which runs from Knoxville up to Bristol, and I'm loosely wanting to model the transition era from steam to diesel on this section of railroad, with a little bit of an extension down to Chattanooga. Since living in Chattanooga to go to school, I've done a whole lot of shooting in the Chattanooga area, so I'm familiar with it very well. So the line is going to cover from Chattanooga to Roanoke, different scenes here and there. There'll be some, rolling hills and flat fields, but also some mountain railroading, as you would see on the Christiansburg district, the Christiansburg Mountain. That is a plan for an eventual layout, not for this first one. This first one is primarily going to focus on the more mountainous side of the operation, so from Bristol north, where the mountains are more prevalent. But with that being the inspiration, a little bit of information regarding the specs of the layout. So this layout is 10 feet wide by 13 feet long. I've got 2 loops of track, one outer loop and one inner loop, and eventually the inside will be a small yard and a small engine servicing facility, complete with the 4 or 5 stall roundhouse. So to kind of give you the overview, the very back portion is going to be the mountain. So only half of the track is going to be visible, we'll say, but the neat thing that I'm going to try and do is give the optical illusion that the train is going a lot farther, as I've seen several people do, where they have the train go underneath the layout, go around in a loop, and then come back up. That will be the plan for the outer loop of track. The inner loop of track, instead of going down, whenever it gets around the mountain, is going to go up by about 3 or 4 inches, and then right in the very middle of the mountain is going to be a cutout, kind of like a valley of sorts, and 2 tunnel portals with a girder bridge in the middle, so that way it's kind of like, a train coming through 2 peaks of the mountains and going over a bridge, as it just kind of breaks up the scenery a little bit and gives a nice little shot there. The yard is going to be on the right hand side, and the servicing facility is going to be on the left hand side. The roundhouse is going to be right here in this corner, in this big curve, and that scene right there is quickly turning into one of my favorite scenes. I'll do a video on this later, but I'm going to be super elevating several of my curves to give a nice camera angle of trains coming around the curve. And also over there, you can kind of see the start of a small mountain that's going to be a small farm, just in the foothills of Virginia, overlooking the rail yard. And the car coming out of the tunnel portal, I don't know if that's fully in the shot, but you'll see it here in a little bit. There's going to be a road right here in front by the main lines. I'm going to recess it a little bit and put some different cars up there to give a cool scene of cars running alongside the tracks. But in the part that is neither the service facility or the yard, I'm going to have a small little town, small town USA, with a main street, a flagpole, a diner, a few city buildings, just a few things you might find on a small road stop town as you go up through the mountains and hills of Virginia. So what kind of track do I use? I use Atlas 3-rail O-scale track. It is for my taste, for my preference, one of the more detailed tracks on the market. I know there's a big toss-up between Atlas and Gargraves. I've chosen Atlas because I just like the profile of the rails and the ties. I think it's one of the better looking track. So that's what I'm using. I'm using cork road bed. The ballast is a little bit of a secret, but not for long, because I'm eventually going to make a video on what I will be using for ballast in some parts of the railroad. And I'll give you a hint. I work at a furniture store, and the ballast comes from a certain type of packing material. I'll let you guess on that one, and you have to wait for the video to figure out what it is. But as you can see, the layout is very, very unfinished. There is a lot of projects that have to be done. So the biggest project for the near future is getting some soundboard. So nothing is really battened down. There's some ballast spread out here and there. That's pretty much was just me jumping the gun, wanting to see how things looked. But pretty much all I have to do is pull up the track and pull up the road bed, and then I'm going to get some soundboard to put down. And once I get the soundboard down, then things can start to come together. The track is going to be screwed into place. We'll put down ballast. I'll wire up switches. And of course, all of that will come in separate videos as time goes on. Other big projects is the mountain. But the mountain will not be done until all the track work is complete, and I know it's working, because I would hate to be trying to build the mountain or try to be building the tracks as I'm building the mountain. So what to do everything in phases. Building projects, I am trying to make a 1/48 scale replica of the Southern Railway Depot here in my hometown of Greenville, Tennessee. It's a beautiful station, and I am very lucky that it is still standing and is actually still being used by Norfolk Southern to this day. So pictures and documentation and measurements and stuff are really easy. Just a quick drive into town and I can get all the inspiration I want. Another piece that I'm looking to do custom is a smokestack. Growing up, I went to the Georgia Railroad Museum a whole lot down in Savannah, Georgia on a family vacation, and I loved the massive smokestack that's there on property. So I don't know if I'll do that smokestack exactly, or I'll find another one to give inspiration, but that will definitely be another piece that will be custom built for the layout. So what type of things do I collect? Well, I predominantly collect Lionel, simply because I have the Lionel control system. My coup de grace is this beautiful Vision Line Class A. This is by far the most expensive locomotive that I have purchased, but it was very much well worth it. It's I think it's my favorite engine in the whole fleet. My primary focus, first of all, is going to be excursion stars. So as you can see here, we have two of them, NW 611 and NW 1218. Both ran in Norfolk Southern's steam program back in the 80s and 90s. I've also got two renditions of Southern Railway number 4501, both in green and black paint. But there's several other locomotives that were part of different steam programs throughout time. You've got the Union Pacific Big Boy, you've got 844, Southern Pacific 4449. I could go on and on and on of different engines that were in excursion service or are still in active excursion service or running on museums or short line railroads. A lot of these engines I've gone to see, and have documented them. So it'll be nice to get them in model form. But aside from that, the primary focus is going to be Southern Railway locomotives and Norfolk and Western Railway locomotives. But I also have a place in my heart for streamliners. I love steam locomotives and diesel engines too. E8s, E9s, what have you. But if it's streamlined, I definitely am gonna try to acquire it one way or another. Another railroad that I really like is the New York Central. That was the railroad of my very first starter set back many years ago, so I've always had a place in my heart for New York Central. So there's lots of different areas that I like collecting in. The biggest collection I'd say I'm working on right now is the Norfolk Southern Heritage Fleet. I've got 2 of the 20. I have number 8114, the original Norfolk Southern paint scheme, and number 1070 in Wabash colors. Now I have on order the number 1072, the Illinois Terminal, and number 1066, the New York Central heritage units. I'll hopefully be able to pick those up here soon once the bank account will allow me. I've got those on layaway. But as soon as they get here and they hit the rails, we'll make a video on them, and we'll run all 4 heritage units together. But I think that about wraps it up for this introduction video. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for clicking on the video and giving me a look. I ask that you would give the video a like if you liked what you saw. And if you like what you saw, why not go ahead and subscribe? I would really appreciate it as I try to build up this channel. And we'll do live streams, we'll do live shows, just hang out, running some trains. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop those down below. And with that, I'm going to leave you guys with running some trains. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
NW1218 to Norfolk, errors made, brake test complete. Are we clear, Paul? Over. Hold for track orders. Norfolk out. Thomas, car number, taking you away. Make sure everything's good. NW1218 to Norfolk. We are done for the day. Heading to the register room to sign out. Out. 611 here. This train is hooked up and ready to go, sir. Let me know when we're clear. Over. 611, you made the plane. Over. Great, sir. We're clear to move. Norfolk Northern 611, you have a clear signal.